I'm not against if someone for religious, philosophical, or practical reasons who wants to join this fight believes that abstinence is a critical part of their conviction effort. I have no problem with that. I think the evidence is that abstinence-only programs are ultimately unsuccessful. Even when the most generous reading of the evidence is that aggressive and comprehensive abstinence programs delay the onset of initial sexual activity and therefore adverse behavior by young people. But if they're abstinence only, then when young people do, and eventually they will engage in sexual activity, they become more likely to be infected than they would had they been in a program that had a more comprehensive approach. So that's my position. I think that abstinence only is an error. Our experience working with PEPFAR is that actually it operates differently in different countries, maybe depending on who's running it, maybe depending on what the country itself wishes to do. Our experience on balance has been quite positive, and I do believe if you take out the 30% of the money that has to be spent on that, whether it's good or bad, as I said, that varies from country to country in my experience. The other 70% is still a whopping amount of money, and more money in bilateral aid, I think, than anybody else is giving, and that's why I say I believe they've done on balance more good than harm. And most of the people with whom we deal are not unlike people who could be doing this work from any country, anywhere, at any time. Now, there have been some particular problems, and I think those need to be addressed. And what I think the more likely thing to happen is that the administration might be persuaded to interpret the guidelines in a way that promotes abstinence in the context of a more comprehensive prevention policy. That's what I would like to see happen. I have no problem with their fulfilling their conviction, but it shouldn't be operating in places, for example, where the overwhelming number of girls under 16 who have sex do it because they were forced to.
My name is Simon Pacheco from the Daily Monitor in Uganda. To use your own words, President Clintan, you said earlier today that for every dollar wasted, it keeps a life at danger. In many African countries which have been a huge beneficiary of the Global Fund which you support greatly, that money has not been used to do that job it was meant to do. Many African leaders have used it to fund their campaigns and all that. Do you think the proponents and funders of the Global Fund need to put up more stringent measures to put a mechanism following the money right from your pocket to go down to exactly do what it was meant to do, rather than aiming the hands of the Spanish regime which use it to entrench themselves foreign power? Thank you.
Maybe I can just take a first crack at this. Increasingly, in my observation, the Global Fund follows the money very, very carefully. And where there is evidence of inappropriate use of the money, the Global Fund suspends the grants, or indeed eliminates the grants. And in your own country of Uganda, the Global Fund suspended the grant when it was felt that there was malfeasance. I remind you that there was a commission of inquiry. The commission has reported